The first Tuesday episode of the BOYSCAST with the legendary Sneako. If you want to keep getting more of these 2 episodes a week, all you got to do is hit the subscribe button. We're around 40,000. Keep it going up, and let's roll the new intro music.
Yeah.
BOYSCAST. The boys, the fellas, the lads, the bros, the dudes, the homies, the mates, the blokes. The boys cast is the show. The dogs, the bunts, the bruvs, amigos.
Woo! And this weekend I'm in St. Louis, but I was, before we get into this interview, I was, so there's all this stuff, and I actually kind of, when I was going through Sneako's stuff,
Yeah.
he does all this stuff with Gideon, and he's like a big YouTuber. These guys are like, big YouTube dudes, right?
Yeah.
And I watched his, there's like 10 people that have done this documentary on the most racist town in America, Harrison, Arkansas, right?
Okay.
But then I watched a bunch of them, and there's this guy that was like at BBC, and he actually like kind of pranked him, and it was kind of funny. But
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
But the crazy part is everyone at the town's like, no, we're not racist. One guy is in the KKK,
They're
right?
just the most misunderstood town in America.
That's what they all say, right? And the whole thing is, some like blog wrote that they're the most racist town in America, but they have a guy that's in the KKK. But to me, I was thinking like, that'd be the equivalent of, imagine you're with the boys and they go, sluttiest town in America. And you go over there and you go, well, why is it so slutty? And you go, one really slutty girl. And if she leaves, it's now the least slutty town in America. Because everyone's very like, I promise you we're not racist.
Yeah, we're not.
Yeah, everyone's very, they're all, that whole deal is like, no.
It sounds like the whole issue, too, just from a quick look, is that people keep selling this guy billboards.
Oh, so he
keeps buying billboards.
Okay.
And because people keep selling him billboards. So, like, he has one that says diversity is a code word for white genocide.
I guess if you have a lot of those things in your town, it will appear racist if someone comes over, but it's mainly him.
Oh, you guys got billboards about this shit?
That is wild. That they have a billboard that says that. I will give you that. But everyone else in all these documentaries is like, no, that guy is racist. It's one guy. But anyway, there's some like funny ones.
I guess, and I'm looking at it too, there's an issue because, there's no legal mechanism to remove billboards because they're on private land. I guess if you own land, you can just put up whatever billboards you want.
Wild. Well, anyways, Sneako, when I first moved here, I remember he was doing really good at YouTube and he wanted to start comedy. And we talked about this a little bit, but he was kind of telling me, he's like, you're doing your thumbnails wrong and change this, change that.
Yeah.
And he gave me like some pointers that were like super helpful. So I mean,
he was working with Mr. Beast. He talks about it, but.
Yeah, and he's doing these like wild streams right now that he like seems like he's having fun with. But anyways, so we're not gonna, this episode, we're just gonna go into it, and we kind of like debated with him on like a bunch of stuff in like a super fun way, but it was cool to hang out. And he came down from lives at fucking 178th Street, so he came down all the way down to do the podcast. So very cool. Without further ado, this is our boy Sneako. Here with Sneako.
What up, BOYSCAST?
This is a big get for the fucking
Finally invited on this show.
I didn't know you were waiting for.
What you mean? I mean, no.
We don't do a ton of guests, but I didn't know you were waiting by the phone like that. Or you just could have said, "Yo, I'm fucking."
I was waiting until I was cool enough to be invited on this podcast.
You were cool, Sneako. Well, I said from the first moment I met you, because you were coming. I met you early, and you were starting to do stand up. And I watched like a bunch of your videos, and I was like, I just thought you were super talented. Like all of even just your editing and all that stuff, I was just like, oh, this guy is really good. So I said to you, I was like, dude, if you start stand up, you're just one of those guys where I could tell you'd be good, because it sounds like you're probably good at whatever you do.
I still haven't been back on stage since COVID. And I haven't seen you perform, but I've seen all your skits. I've been watching the skits for years now.
Oh, fuck
you do stand up too, right?
Yeah,
you must. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, it's impossible. You're in a kind of a weird spot, because like everyone needs like 2 or 3 years where you're like eat, sleep, and breathe stand up, and you're so busy. It's almost like, how would you do that right now?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it just me, or does stand up kind of suck right now? Every time I go and watch it, I'm trying to get back into
everyone.
Is everyone saying that? But it's
No,
you know what? The mainstream stand up really does.
No,
like,
but
not all across the board, obviously, but like we were talking before, but like, stuff on Comedy Central. Yeah, it's not their best work.
Even the stuff I'm seeing in the clubs, like the stuff in the clubs I'm seeing, it's very millennial. It's very like hey, what's the deal with Grubhub? And like it's like a trendy word. Like you can get a
There's
laugh.
always crappy everything. In the 80s.
But I'm tired of hearing like Bumble. Anyone on the Bumble? Hey, these new apps are so crazy. Like these apps have existed since 2014. You know, this is not like a new fangled
Yeah, so
thing.
have those jokes. Though that
Yeah.
person's jokes also existed. They're just still doing them.
No, this is the joke. It's I'm on all the apps, Bumble, Tinder,
PayPal.
Grubhub. Yeah.
Craigslist.
No, but that's like everything has good people and bad people.
Yeah.
So that's you're just like young and too cool for it. You know what I mean? You see it still as these like millennials.
I don't. I'm just saying that now because I'm making more money from YouTube and stuff like that. But it's reversed.
You're saying it to yourself. You're like, I don't need this.
I think stand-up
thing.
is cooler. Comedy is cooler. I remember like sitting down in the stand for the first time, like at the comics table with like Shane Gillis and them, and like they were looking
you
at
did
me,
the Shane
and they're like,
thing.
"Oh, he has a lot of followers," and they were like looking at it, and they're like, "It's just because he's good looking or something like that." And I was like, and then Shane Gillis watched my videos, and he's like, "Oh, that's funny. The little cards you're stacking the stuff," and it was kind of like I felt this energy, like, all right, this is some goofy little YouTube shit. It doesn't have any validity in the comedy club. And then I'm like, fuck, I got to step my game up. And so back then I was making like these inspirational videos and stuff like that.
But they're really good.
Pointing a camera at my face and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, you know, the young guy with the camera on him. It's like, hey, you know, saying like I didn't have to be funny at that time. I could just talk about like some deep stuff that I knew would like resonate when people would in the comments be like, whoa, you really motivated me. And I'm just tired of like making that same content over and over again. And so
I mean, everyone goes through eras.
Yeah.
no, a lot of people stick and do the same thing
For
the
you're
whole,
saying for YouTube?
for the whole life. Yeah, most people don't have errors.
Yeah, I guess Ben Shapiro's not gonna have an era.
No, he's making the same exact stuff.
I think a
destroying
lot of people that make a lot of good stuff over their whole life go through eras.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the good ones do for sure.
So you're sick of the motivational stuff. You're like, I ain't no fucking role model, bitch.
Yeah, I want to like
You're off
completely
that
be
shit, though.
anti. I want to stop caring about stuff. I want to be like the don't give a fuck. I hate everything. Patrice O'Neill type of.
You
comic.
love Patrice, right?
I want to develop that like I hate everything so I could be funny again. Because when I was doing stand up, I cared too much. I got too nervous beforehand. I had too much anxiety going on stage. I'd be like smoking or like taking a shot before. It was too much preparation, and then also for not making any money. Like I would take flights and go places. I did stand up in Berlin.
That's tough
stand-up
when
in
you're
LA.
making money like
For
him,
sure.
too.
And you're giving up on stuff. You're like, I'm passing over things that are actually like
Yeah, you're
way more
sacrificing time you could be streaming or stuff like that when I'm making absolutely no money for like.
Yeah.
There's
also,
nothing
I think it
harder.
could suck too because you are like kind of famous that if people see you doing stand up, but like when you're just starting, you're like, yeah, I'm still trying to get good at this.
Yeah,
And the
and they
people
have
are
high
like,
expectations.
yeah, they have high expectations. They don't know like what the process is, and they come out and they're just like, you're not fucking Chris Rock, and they're like, but you're like as famous as Chris Rock to them.
Well,
to them,
to Gen Z, yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they're just like,
Yeah, and comedy agents are calling me a lot, like saying, "Hey, let's book a show. Let's like sell these tickets." And I'm like, I'm not ready. Like, I don't have any
Comedy agents are doing that a lot, and that's why there's a lot of bad comedy.
Just anybody with a following who could sell tickets gets to go on stage and like be next to somebody who's actually good. And I don't want to get that condescending look from real comics like this fucking YouTuber. I'm tired.
Well,
of
I
it.
remember when I first met him, it was interesting because I've always come up in comedy where there was a little of that, like, YouTubers, but then everyone kind of, it's more meshed where it's like all of the biggest stand-ups are kind of YouTubers, I would say, right? Like if you think about it, right? But then he was like, oh, I'm Sneako or whatever, I'm an influencer. You introduced You introduced me. Oh, well, I didn't think of it necessarily as negative. I was kind of like, oh, interesting that like, he's proud of that. Damn. No, but I was thinking. There's sometimes me and you talk where I was more like, oh fuck, I'm old. Like
well,
they
that was
think
just one
that's
of his,
cool
that was
now.
just one of the phases. He's not,
Yeah,
he's
that
gone
was an
now.
era. That was my
an era.
influencer era.
Yeah, the influencer.
Well, was that an era?
It was. There was like a good like 5-6 months where I'm like, yes, I'm clouded, and like I'd walk around,
Right.
and I'm like, this shit is fucking corny, bro. This shit is
Okay,
corny.
you were proud of being an influencer.
I was proud of
Now
like
you're
having
not.
realized that.
Yeah, well, I got some self-esteem from having followers and being like slightly famous, and then people would be like, oh, blah, and I'd be like, yeah, and I felt like the shit, and I was like, okay, well, why is nothing else happening? Like I
Right.
feel cool, but I'm not making money. And
Dude,
nothing's going
it
on.
feels like you're having like an epiphany every 6 months.
Yeah, yeah, not really.
Sneako messaged me. He messaged me 4 months ago or whatever, 4 days ago, and he was just like, "Streaming's the new thing." He's like, "YouTube's done."
No, not YouTube's
or
done.
not
I
YouTube's
think
done. But
podcasts are
videos
done.
are out. Okay,
Podcasts are done.
this is Gen X take. He goes, "Podcasts are
Well,
done."
I thankfully have a podcast that's also a live stream.
Oh, you live stream your podcast?
I do like a call-in show.
Yeah, isn't that way better? And it's more interactive. It's more
It's
exciting.
more interactive. It's a different thing. It's a totally different different
too
thing.
many.
You know what I
average-
will say? Guests I find are worse on that format.
Why?
That format's better by yourself. I don't know. Well, because people are calling in, and I feel like it just gets too. There's too much going on when there's like.
And they need to feel special the whole time.
Well,
All the
you're
attention
like,
needs to be on
you
them.
know, it's hard to get that like kind of the give and take. Whereas like we give each other time to talk and stuff. I don't know. It doesn't flow as well.
Well, you're kind of your guest is sort of the caller.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like an interactive.
So they have to
pod.
essentially be a
They're
guest
the guest.
they're a
So then,
co-host,
and then
sort
you
of.
have someone like a comedian, and they're all trying to get jokes in, and it's too much.
And this guy's like, no, I need advice. My wife is dying as we speak.
This dude's fucking plowing my wife right now.
Yeah. What should I do? He's calling for very urgent advice. I love the idea of someone calling in on your show being like, I've got the knife to his head. But you with the like streaming thing, you've obviously like streaming 4 hours a day right now.
Yeah.
But you put your life out there for everyone. Very controversial these days.
Yeah, and it's been good because it gives me a lot to talk about, and also like it gives me be able to feed bait to the trolls and like people who are going to be hating on it, and I know what they're going to take, and then I could just show like, oh, these people are corny.
What are your biggest controversies recently?
People are calling me a cuck. They're calling me cucko.
Why? Oh no.
Cucko in the chat, like I'm getting a lot of that. So a couple months ago, I was on a podcast and I talked about. So I have an open relationship with my girl, and I wanted to.
I got an open relationship with this girl too.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Yeah. And I told the story how we went to a play party, we went to a sex party, and I thought like because I want an open relationship, like she's seen me with other women, I thought that it'd be like fair if I saw her with another dude, and so we like swapped with the couple, and I didn't like it, and then we stopped.
But you watched.
For 3 pumps. I saw 3 pumps, and I was with his girl on top, and I was like, and it just like I'm like nah, and I walked out the room, and then she walked out the room too, and she's like, okay.
And that was the end of the open relationship?
No, it's
Or
still
just the
open.
end of just doing
Just
it?
the end,
The
of,
end
me,
of him
end of
watching
me
it.
being a cuck.
Yeah,
it was the
yeah.
end of my cuck experience. It lasted 3 pumps.
He didn't like that.
3
though.
pump-
didn't like it.
three
How
pump
did
chump.
how did the guy like watching you get smashing his chick?
I couldn't, bro. I couldn't get it
couldn't
up
get
for
it up,
his
that's
chick, bro.
that's
I couldn't get it up for his bitch.
That
bro.
must
my
be
problem,
super common.
No, because there was a couple things going on. And so I want to talk about this in the
Lot going
podcast
on.
to talk about this open relationship from like a humbling perspective.
Are you on a press tour to talk about this right now?
No, bro, no. I wanted to just talk about it once, like mad long
And get
ago.
it over with.
And now since I started streaming, like I get all
Okay.
these haters and like he's a cuck, and like these people are like watching my videos and watching.
But are they hate watching you? Or like, are they kind of like?
I have a lot of
like
hate watchers.
tongue-in-cheek trolls?
No,
kind
no.
Of? They're like,
See,
we
I-
like
I-
them, but we kind of taking the piss. Or
I made like gay jokes, like so. There's these self-improvement YouTubers, and they were like stretching and stuff like that, and they were in short shorts. And I was just calling them gay because they're stretching in the camera. It's just funny, like,
Okay.
hey yo, just simple stuff. And they get mad, like his character, he's lost his purpose. He's not even going to the gym, and he's a cuck. Like people will try to ruin your life because you made a joke. And then I'm like, guys, like, do you really think it's like? Why do you think that they said that? They're trying to ruin my character.
I saw like a little bit of that just like even the last couple of days when I was looking at your stuff. But like my synopsis was more just like, dude, it's like what I said where it's like, you're fucking young and you're trying to figure out like what exactly you want to do. And you're like the same way that you're just going through any like phases, but you're doing it in front of
Publicly,
everyone.
yeah. And it's a lot of mental stress. It's fucking
Like
heavy.
maybe you will
like-
be doing all this like getting pussy content for like 4 months, and you're just like, yeah, you know what, that was, or maybe you'll more of that. I don't know.
No, I'm not even thinking of doing getting pussy content. That's what you think it is?
no.
Damn, bro.
Well, it's getting pussy content for the bull.
do you get a lot of like those?
No, I don't think you. No, but you have you're going through your kind of like young guy smashing phase,
I mean,
aren't you? Out there,
yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
and pretty public about like, yo, look at me with this hot bitch.
Well,
and,
I'm
like,
not trying to
You got a bit of rapper energy. I'm not even trashing you.
But I'm not trying to like brag about it. I'm trying to just show that there's a way to get an open relationship with your girl, and I'm trying to help.
You want that to work.
I want it to work for everyone.
Well, do you
because-
want me to know this? One of the big secrets is probably don't talk about it so much online would probably be the best way to do it, right?
Well, that's because everyone's afraid of getting that reaction. But at least I'm showing what happens.
no,
Like,
it probably makes it more complicated. Like if you have a chick and she's like, yo,
my
you
chick,
can,
my chick knows what's up, and she's not even like she's not fazed by any of it, and she's even getting like people in her DM stuff like that trying to like talk about me, and it's really not affected my relationship at all.
and you don't care.
I don't care about what.
Like people, you have pretty thick skin about all this stuff.
It's helped me like seeing the 3 pumps develops thick skin. You know what I'm saying? Like your insecurities. That's the most insecure thing for men is seeing your girl get 3 pumped, and I saw it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now the fear of that happening isn't as strong. So, you don't think there's something to that? Like, yeah, all right, now if she gets mad and like, all right, well, what if I leave? What if I? All right, I saw it already.
So, yeah, I've seen way worse shit.
The threat of it, okay. If you wanna do that, then I'm just gonna leave you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you stock up on Viagra
For what? For the next one?
for one, or were you raw? Were you going in with no PEDs?
Nah, I went in. You know what? I think I did pop a honey for that party.
You
still.
have to.
I think I did
And it
pop a
did
honey,
nothing.
bro. Just like the fucking. It was. I think it was our
Stressful.
first. It was the first. We've been back. We go back now. But that was the first one. That experience that I talked about, and I was just like, whoa, like performing in front of fucking people. My bitch is on a bed with someone else. I'm here with this guy's fat girlfriend. Like it was just. It was just.
That's a good trade for him. You're saying, eh?
Yeah, I'm like that was part of the reason. Like I'm downgrading. Like why does he get an upgrade and I get a downgrade? That's not fair. That's not fair.
The swinger lifestyle.
The swinger people look like they're at the DMV. They're not really like extremely looking people.
We used to do comedy at this place outside of Toronto, and it was called Oasis Swingers Club. And yeah, you're like, honestly, you go, I don't
library people. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
And
It's
we're
Walmart
the youngest
people. It's
people,
like
there.
Walmart people.
Walmart people.
Yeah,
We're the
yeah.
youngest people there. My girlfriend's hot. You know what I'm
this
saying?
chick's
So all these
hot.
people, they're looking
Oh,
at my
yeah.
girl like, like, why are you all look hungry staring at my girl? Like, this is not a fair trade-off.
Yeah. Yeah, they should be paying you guys.
That's so funny that you fucked this guy's fat girlfriend and he got your.
And he's like, yeah.
He got
I'm
your
like, bro, why you look so excited right now?
Yeah,
Like,
the guy's like, I love swinging. You're like, I bet you do.
Yeah. of
Sneako's
course
chick's
he
like
do.
a hot Instagram chick, and he's like, "You're fucking Barb."
Yo, I'm moving up her fat roll so I could get inside, bro. Like, this is not a fair exchange.
This guy's trying to give you props. That's so funny.
That's funny shit.
So
But
yeah,
you learn. You live and learn. That was the first one.
So basically, I'm obsessed with how fat was she?
I had to like there were rolls in the way. Like I was.
Why didn't you say
Hold on,
when
hold
your
on.
chick was like, "How about we start with these two?"
Because she doesn't care.
No,
she doesn't.
no.
She's not thinking about the attractive level. She's just like excited.
Was the guy gross too?
He had purple hair. He was like bisexual.
Oh, it was one of
If
those.
you listen to the podcast, like he was like open. Like
Those
there's-
guys are known to have gross girlfriends too.
Yes, and those guys they like swinger parties because they don't get grossed out by other balls.
because they're gay.
Because they're a little gay. Like I don't like being in the vicinity of other open hairy balls. Like
Yeah.
I'd be like she'd be on
It's a bit
top
of a turn off.
I'd be with my girl and then like guys are just walking up like dick out trying to like angle in to get a hole. I'm like, bro, like a little bit of space. A little bit like your eyes would be closed, you open up and you just see dicks. Like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the type of guys that are comfortable with that are like a little, you know, I'm there because I
A
want
little
to
light in the loafers.
Huh?
A little light in the loafers.
Yeah. Like I'm there because I want to exercise the open relationship. These guys are there because that's their zone. That's where they thrive.
You're there because you're on a quest.
On a quest. I'm just trying to get an open relationship.
Is that the rules of the open relationship where you guys have to be together like that? You can't just go do your own thing?
No,
It's
I do
kind
my-
of like
I
how
do my-
every cop has to take the taser when they first get the job.
Pepper spray? Yeah,
I got tased. Nah, because I want to do my own thing, and she's like, I don't think girls are capable of doing their own thing. Like, I don't think that they could fuck other people without like separating their. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a girl's in love with you, she can't just go out and cheat.
Why don't you just get a deal where it's just you? You seem like
That's
you're
what I.
capable of
That's
getting
what I
that
did.
deal.
That's what we do now.
Yeah, you're like, that sounds way better.
Yeah,
Why don't
that's
I
what
just-
we do now.
I mean,
But
doesn't that sound like something you would be able to negotiate? I don't know.
But I wanted it
You're
to be
famous.
fair.
You got the
I-
whole thing going on.
But see, I believed in the gender equality thing before that party. I'm
This
like,
is what switched. This is what red pilled him.
it did, bro. I thought that
Three
if men,
pumps and you go, red pill, please.
yes,
Not a
see
blue
3
man.
pumps and you will be red pilled. Girls cannot
Watching
cheat like
this-
guys can cheat.
Bisexual fucking Brooklyn guy just banging your chick and you're just sitting there.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, dude, that's so funny. Just getting mid that, and then you're just like, yo, I think I'm fucking joining men's rights activists for him.
Yeah.
And then I guess I would say there's a difference between like, you like to watch a girl fucking swinging, not that I mean I've been in scenarios where switching with dudes, but like none of them were like our chicks. You know what I mean?
They were just random hoes.
Hoes.
I
yeah.
brought the love of my life.
You're not supposed
there.
to do that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
And does she want to? The worst would be if she's like the next day she goes, I want to go back. And you're like, I don't want to go back. That was a one-time thing.
That's so
It's a
funny.
rare thing. She's like, I want to go back tonight.
Nah, we've been back like 5 times, but we didn't swap or anything like that
okay.
anymore. But we
Yeah,
go-
yeah,
Why go?
It's because it's a really like
the voyeurism.
It's a really truthful environment. Like when you talk to other couples in that like open sex environment, like sometimes we just enjoy like or like dancing or like
He goes for the convos.
not dead ass, bro. The conversations there are way more real than you'll have in the club. Like the couples there will just
I don't
talk.
go to the club
they skip
either.
all the small talk. Like the small talk you have at a club is like, what do you do? What's your job? What's your? But they're just like we're just talking as two couples who are not afraid of any pretense because we're here already. Like sex is open here. Let's just talk. Yeah. Or like there's dance floors and shit like that. Or like yeah.
What are you gonna say? Fucking drugs?
No, well, I don't want to come. I want to
Not
talk.
trying to promote that bad life.
I don't want to like come off like I'm bragging about shit. Like there's other girls too. Like I like having openness with other girls. I don't like dudes involved. But it's not fun to talk about that.
Call him crazy.
It's not fun to talk about that because guys in the comments will be like, "Oh, you think you're an alpha male? You think you're so?" But like that's genuinely what I want. I don't like fucking dick. I like seeing other girls.
And there's a lot of people who are disagreeing with you on
who
this?
are like, why do you think that you have? No, because then you sound like you get like, oh, you get so many girls, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to like.
Sneako argues with people in the comments all day like this.
All day. All day long.
You must be
What's your like meditation practice? You must get so wound
You guys
up.
are the sex club.
Yeah, I do, bro. This shit has been winding me up.
Must be winding you
I
up.
need to take a week off of streaming, bro. Like arguing with the trolls in the trenches and Discord and the YouTube
Streaming
comment
gets
section.
Did they
fired
leave
up.
YouTube? Like, are you getting them on Instagram? And
All
stuff?
over.
They're just like
IG,
coming
Discord.
they're just coming at you everywhere.
I'll get on my Discord server after a stream and it's like 10 guys talking at once and there's guys like, let me fuck your girl, and then you just troll back and forth with them. But I think it makes you funnier. Like I felt very unfunny when I was in I'm an influencer. Like that was very like self-esteem boost. Like I'm just living in the ego of it. Yeah. But when I'm in the Discord trenches with the trolls, with the like, you're a cuck, like those people, then I'm like, fuck you. Where's your fucking AVI? Where's your camera? Turn your camera on, ugly. And they don't turn it on. They're like, ugh. I'm like, that's why you got an anime profile picture. And then they get quiet. Yeah. It's very fun to just argue back and forth with just the bottom.
That's, I can't, like, there's nothing in my life where I like enjoy it because I hate it. Like it seems like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're like there to
your skits is based off.
But
hate.
I'm saying, but they're like there to like beef with you. They're all like in your Discord to just like.
No, they're not. They liked getting a reaction out of you.
Oh, okay.
And so you could just.
But
dick
they do
ride.
like you.
They like instead of
They're
just
just
dick riding, be like,
trolls.
yo, I love your videos. They're just trying to say some stupid shit like, hey, you're gay. Oh, you're a cuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, let's talk about something.
Yeah. But then when he gets real and it's like you're like, let's talk, and they're like, oh, this isn't fun.
No,
they were in it for like the.
I think a lot of
arguing
people
back and forth.
follow you for your like philosophies and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm just saying with the people who are beefing, like they're like.
No. The people who are beefing are other YouTubers, other established YouTubers with fans and stuff like that who are making exposed videos, like detailing my life and like gathering information from years of watching my shit and like making like this is why he's a bad person. I'm like, bro, you've just watched yesterday.
Damn.
Yeah. That is you're living a chaotic life right now. Who else are you getting in fights with?
I like the YouTube beef, bro. I like it.
Well, that's part of if you're gonna be in that like sort of streaming daily content game.
You need
it's
something.
Like,
People like a little bit of, you know what I mean?
Like, you get doxxed yet?
No. Yeah, I don't want that to happen. That would suck.
Yeah, that's positive. But so didn't you have this one recently was, I guess it wasn't really streamer beef, but it was pretty fucking sick. There's some girls suing you, right?
Yeah.
But so
around here at this bar, not too far.
So
in East Village.
Sneako does street stuff, and you did an interview with this girl, right? Is this? Am I getting this right?
Yeah.
And then basically she like messaged you and was like, "Take this down," kind of thing.
So it was.
Tell me that story.
Okay, I'll tell you the story.
You've been talking about it a bunch, the lawyer stuff, but I was kind of confused as
let me explain how it happened because it's funny that
it's kind of funny. Yeah,
I was making amends with the first feminist. And while doing that, I got sued by another feminist. So I'm interviewing about catcalling on the street, and then some girl has her moment like, you can just catcall people at 10 p.m. at night. And I'm like, okay, fine. And then she starts yelling at me, spitting and stuff like that. Like, this is mad stupid. Like, just trying to have like her big feminist, like, look at me, I'm saving the women. And I'm like, just staying cool, calm. And then break down like, all right, she just wanted to have a moment. She likes attention. A month later, we do a follow-up video, and I want to do it in a bar right next to where that shit happened. So we walk into the bar and I'm filming, and the bartender sees me filming and like makes it about herself. She's in the corner, and I'm like, is the girl in here? Or, like, I was gonna do an interview in here. She's like, you can't just come in here filming. I'm like, fine, I'll leave. Just go outside. It's not about you. I don't care about this. And then we go back in with the girl. I'm like, oh, now can we film? And she's like, you're being disrespectful, so no. I'm like, okay, fine. We go and film outside. She's not in it. Yeah. She comes outside on the public, on the sidewalk, and she's filmed because we're filming a video, and her face is in it. And even though she's outside in New York, you're allowed to film strangers on the street in New York. She still sued me. and then she threatened she called the
So
bouncers.
what'd you get?
I got a privacy complaint. The video got deleted.
Ugh.
And it had nothing to do with her. She was in it for 0.2 seconds, and it was just funny that she had like a fucking main character, I'm an actor moment. She's in SAG-AFTRA. She like, and all the messages are like, I'm in the Actors Guild.
Ugh.
This, like, bro, that doesn't make you like have any self-esteem. You're not important because you signed up for an Actors
Makes
Guild.
you a loser.
You're a bartender. You know what I'm saying? You're not a successful actor.
Thespian.
I'm a talented thespian. But relax. You're a bartender. But just because she was on the street for 1 second, YouTube doesn't listen to that. And I had to take down the video. And it's just like, but how funny, like I'm trying to like resolve the first feminist and I catch another one on the way.
Can't catch a break.
You can't win, man.
So what happened with Hassan Piker?
Hassan reacts to my 1 Minute podcast. I do these street interviews, and he just like he's a very liberal. Like he streams all day, every day, just complaining about, God, these right wing incels. He just called me an incel.
Okay.
Like reacted to my stuff, and it's like,
It's
bro,
funny calling you an incel too.
do you
'cause
know
you're
what
like,
incel means?
Yeah,
This word has no meaning. I very publicly show my girlfriends.
And you're pretty good with chicks. Yeah,
Yeah, like I show like Riz is part of my shit. And like, how do you know what he's 30? You know what that word means, right? Hassan? You watch his shit.
I've seen it.
No, I don't watch it.
I've just seen
it.
But you're aware of
to
him.
see what's
No,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah. I go, you do this 8 hours a day?
I've never
8
watched
hours.
his streams, but I mostly see him when he's fighting with someone. So then did you make a reaction video?
I made a
back to
reaction
him?
video to that, but then, and I asked him, like, you want to come on stream? You want to debate? And then, like, these guys, they'll complain all day and then they don't want to have conversation. H3, these like left-leaning fucking podcasters. It's so ironic that podcasts are supposed to be about freedom of speech and open dialogue, open conversation, and they're afraid of conversation. They don't get on the phone. They will roast you, call you an incel in front of 40,000 people, but they can't pick up the phone.
Yeah, and I'll never, I'm not trying to ever be like the fucking on the side of like whatever, getting mad or whatever. But there is like, you also kind of know what you're doing, because I see the clips you put on TikTok sometimes where it'll be like the clip that if I was you and someone clipped that of me and put it on, I'd be like, what are you doing, bro? Yeah. like you know what I mean? Like Sneako On put a clip on TikTok of him being like, they're not humans, women. Like, and I'm like, yo, is this like someone fucking with you? And it's like, someone you clipped it? Because you know, like, well, you know how to fucking get the most
people.
views. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Which again,
But
like,
that creates comedy. Like when you get all the people mad reacting to that, then
Of
you
course.
just get so much content. Just like, bro, you're dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing if they're like saying we don't like it and whatever, which sometimes those guys do. But a lot of times it's like, hey, get their fans rallied up to try to cancel. Like, you know,
They try
let's
to
try to get this
cancel
guy
you.
strike.
And also, they don't
blah,
even
blah,
go
blah.
at the argument. They just get mad at what you said because you said it like not caring. And they're like, well, what if you're just gay? And it's just like, you all say the same argument. They just say toxic, insecure, and gay.
Yeah.
If you say something that goes against their ideology, who hurt you? You're just a toxic this. They don't
Well,
go at
everyone's
what
a
you
so
said.
insecure. You're a little toxic.
I know,
but like, so what?
Exactly. Like, why do they
Toxic
say that?
boys for life.
Yeah, facts, bro.
T-boys. Look at us, a bunch of T-boys.
Nah, you're not a toxic boy like me and Sneako. Family man, Dan.
Just a few T-boys.
Actually-
Chopping it up.
Okay, fine. Okay, enough of fucking these controversy people. Okay, well, the one thing that one more thing about this streaming so he's trying to tell me that you do streaming. I was saying one of the reasons why I think for me, and again, he's younger and still like fucking tons of years to figure out like, you know, where you're going to spend all your time. But there's like an old stoicism thing. And like Ryan Holiday says this a lot, where it's like, it's like, what do you want your days to look like? So there is ability, like, it sounds like you like streaming, where it's like, what do I want to do? And then there's another part of me that's like, okay, I spend like all this time being maybe the best in the world and making videos or doing stand up. And it's like, those are things I care about. It's like, why am I going to go do this like other thing now that I like less? And you're just like, I know you could say, well, that's what people care about and it's kind of the future. And it's like, well, then I take a bit of a career hit to like do what I want to do and make what I want to make.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, I'd say the interactive part of it is fun. I do like the whole like.
Yeah, it's cool. We were
super-
talking about
the
doing
super
our Patreon
interactive
live.
part is cool. I do enjoy.
It gives you so much energy. Like when you're talking live and you see all these people, they can text you and talk to you immediately. So it's just like having fast conversation with so many people.
No, you are right, because we do our Patreon once a month live right now, and we're talking about doing the other one, because it is cool. You know, sometimes it's someone that's not there, but sometimes they make a good point, and you're like, oh, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's just the interactive thing. Like you could say something and then just someone can, you know, it's a podcast where the user, like the viewer, gets to kind of be on it a bit.
Isn't it kind of like podcast and stand up mashed together, live streaming? I think it's a combination of
Well,
stand-up
nothing
comedy and
stand up
podcasting.
unless there's an audience.
But that is an audience. It's a live audience. And it's not even that. They can also react immediately.
That's a good question.
Like, you know when something's funny and what's not. When they're spamming LMAO, and they're putting laugh emojis, you know it's funny.
But stand-up is like playing an instrument that the audience, audience's audio is part of that instrument, right?
Yeah, there's too much of a lag.
Yeah, so
There's
it's like
too much of a lag.
the stand-up is like their energy laughing, but you can't actually see it. So it's I understand it probably uses some of the same things.
I don't see the difference. So you hear their sound.
Honestly, the time for them to start like just typing in the emojis is like, in terms of timing a joke,
well, imagine you're making your friends laugh in person, right? Like that's not the same as sending them a voice note and then sending back ha ha ha. Like it's just.
But it's not just a voice note. When you're live streaming, it's a camera on you.
You can't hear
see
them.
Your body.
No, there's no. Like when you listen to a stand-up special, the reason the audience, like, why is the audience laugh still there? It's not necessary. If what you're saying is true, like, why would you need the audience laughs in a stand-up special? And the reason is because that's part of the instrument.
Well, I could upload the live streams without the chat, but I do because that's part of it.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
But the audio of
comedy's
the
not
laugh,
even good
I
on
mean.
Zoom. Like even on Zoom, where you actually can maybe see them and hear them, and you're like, it still kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about the format.
Similar principles, but like you would like even pace it differently. Like you're pacing your streams like you're ranting. You're not pacing your streams like leaving room for their laughs because they're not there because they're sitting at home, right? But I mean, whatever. It's all like this. A lot of the same muscles, but they're just different like things.
Can you argue that a lot of stand-up sets are not just like extended rants or like spaced out?
Well, some people are, but the thing is, you'd rant faster or slower or explain more or less or go harder or less hard based on how much the crowd's laughing. So it's like, it's very like the same reason that you would if you're on a date with a girl and you're making her laugh. If you said a bunch of jokes and she didn't laugh at any of them, you'd be like, you know what, let me take out this next part I was about to say.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to pull it back.
So it's all just, but it's all related. But again, that doesn't really matter anyway. What's the red pill life? What is the because I heard you talk about that a lot on streams lately. So did that change for you in the last like couple of years where
the
you
red pill shit?
Yeah, like where you got all into that?
I think I've been on that. I used to read that shit back in high school. Like I'd be 17, like I went to boarding school just in my dorm room, like reading the red pill, like doing push-ups in my room. Like, come on, bro. You're trying to get strong and shit. But then that really helped me see.
You got
the reality
popular young, dude. You were like, how old were you when that first video popped off? Like fucking 14?
I made that. Actually, I was pretty old in that. I think I was like 17 in that video.
Oh,
I just looked young. Yeah, Asian puberty went through late.
Yeah,
but that video popped off like 3 years after. But I had always had an audience like from a pretty young age. I've been doing YouTube for like 9 years now.
Yeah, you kind of grow up in front of everyone, right?
Yeah. So now I'm not afraid to hide anything. I've been showing everything since I was fucking 14. I might as well just fully dive in, get called a cuck. Fuck it. Fuck it, bro. I'll get called a cuck.
Okay, so what's your favorite like takeaways from Patrice O'Neal? Because I know you're into him lately.
I've been a huge Patrice O'Neal fan for years. I've listened to like I think almost every single audio recording, every single O&A clip, everything I could find. I've kind of taken a step back because I feel like I've learned everything I could from him. But he really like provided me like a sort of philosophy to follow because I'm not religious and I don't have a job. Like I'm independent. I just do. So he was like the closest thing to like a sense of like this is what you should do. You know what I'm saying? Like a mentor I've never met him. He died a long time ago.
I like the idea of you accepting a speech once when your actual parents are there. And, I just want to thank my mom and my dad, Patrice O'Neal. And your dad's there. Like, what the?
I might even thank you. Like, he really gave me a lot of guidance. But
what are some of them?
I think to believe in, like he had this one radio clip. He was defending Don Imus or someone. He made a joke calling a girl a nappy-headed hoe, and Don Imus got his radio show canceled. And then he went on the news, and Patrice was like, he was defending it, even though a lot of people were saying nappy-headed hoe was racist. He was like, yeah, it sounds bad, but like I defend the effort to be funny. Like I believe in funny. His intention was to make you laugh. And so he got his radio show canceled, but at the core, he was just trying to make you smile. And that's some funny shit. Nappy-headed hoe, that's a good punchline, objectively. So hearing that, like, made me realize that so many people get mad, but they don't look at the intention. You shouldn't look at just what was said. You should look at the intention of why someone said that.
And not even in just like comedy and in real life. Yeah. I mean, if someone, cancels plans with you or like anything, you go, what actually happened here? Like, is this real? Or it's not the thing. It's the fucking what they were up to.
Seems like this is about me.
My favorite. If someone cancels plans to you to a DJ event,
Brooklyn Mirage.
no,
Last minute.
The my favorite Patrice O'Neill one that I like probably have brought up to a lot of girls because I think it's the most true thing. Where it's like I'm paraphrasing exactly what he said, but I've said a version of it. But like that men want girls around, we just don't want you like here. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like it is so true. Sometimes you're just like, dude, I would actually like you kind of being around or whatever.
In the vent, just in there.
like a plant.
Yeah.
But it's like you can't just be bugging me all the time.
Yeah.
Bitches be bugging.
Like we want to, what do you say? Like we don't want to be alone, but we want to be by ourselves.
Yeah, something like that is a really good way to put it too. But it's honest to God, that is so true with me. Whereas just like so many times they'll be like, you can't you just like entertain yourself? if you're like doing that, you're doing that. But it's like, you know, it's hard to and then my thoughts getting interrupted. It's like, just be there. It's comforting.
They're not very good at entertaining themselves when you're around them, right? They kind of need your attention a lot.
Yeah, I guess.
They kind of need to feed. Like, you can just, like, sit there and play Fortnite for 6 hours, right? Or you play whatever the fuck. You can sit down and play a video game for 6 hours. She will need to, like, well, come watch a movie with me. Come bake a cookie. Like, they can't. If they're with you, they need to be doing something with
watch
you.
me fuck Mike.
Shut the
All right,
fuck
that's it. That's the last one, I promise. You said I didn't bring it up. No, but you're right. That's it. I'm out. No, but you are right. And I think part of it is the, like, it's not just the like can't be occupied. It's also that they're way more always multitasking. You know what I mean? As opposed to like I'm just like focus on what you are doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas a lot of times I'm like in my head I'm focused on something, whether it's in life or just even
Just
the little
figuring
thing.
shit out.
Yeah, you're kind of figuring things out, and I'm almost like tossing ideas around in my head or whatever. Like. You almost have conversations with yourself more.
You look like you're just holding your
crazy,
balls, but you're really thinking about 5 things, like your business, what you got to do here, the next upload, what's going to go on with your family. You're just figuring shit out. And then her coming in just interrupts that thought flow, and then you get mad. And she doesn't realize why you're mad, but it's like, I was figuring shit out.
It's so hard to explain why you asking me one question. The amount of times I've had that argument where it's like, hey, would you mind if I was thinking about doing this for like dinner tomorrow or something, and you're just like, I don't want to talk about that right now. It's like, what? Just 1 second. I was like, yes, but I'm like kind of mentally like juggling 5 things in my head that I'm thinking about, and every time you say something like that to me, I start like the whole thing falls over and you start again.
You gotta get that Matt Lauer button. That's what you need.
Do you not know the Matt Lauer button?
What's the Matt Lauer button?
Matt Lauer. He got me too'd, but he essentially had a button
to lock, because he had a giant office, right? So he had a button that just locks his door from like across the room.
To shut the women out.
Just so nobody bugs him.
It was basically,
and then they were
so
like,
his assistant couldn't come in and tell him
just
something.
bother him, and then they would go, he did it to trap women in his.
Yeah,
fucking,
so it came out that he had it kind of was the whole thing, like he had this button to like lock girls in.
Everybody's like, this animal. And then he's like, I just hate being bothered. Like every reasonable guy's out there, I go, fuck, I gotta get me a Matt Lauer button.
You guys seem anti-red pill. What do you think? What do you disagree with the red pill shit?
No, I think I'm, to be honest, I think I'm any like all-encompassing philosophy to some degree, because every philosophy that has all the answers is like, I feel like a lot of philosophies are solving a problem that needs to be solved. And I think one of the things that I've more as I got older come to terms with, like, I bet you even with you, like some of the things that you're, and again, like have good opinions on and are grappling with or whatever, is like, you know, what is the perfect way to have a girlfriend? Can I do this polyamorous thing? Can I do this? Like, right? And I think that I've come to some degree that there like really isn't a perfect answer. It's all just trade-offs. So it's like, if I was to be like, oh, I'm this, you know, kind of this mentality and that's my philosophy on life, it's also, there's going to be trade-offs to that. So everything's like trade-offs to some degree. So it's almost like I like to pick the things I like from a menu. You know, I'm like, oh, that's smart.
You're an agnostic red pill.
Yeah.
Well, I think that with most things, I generally come out of having a good gripe to point out. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I've always kind of been like, yeah, most people are wrong about everything. There's that old stock market thing. Like whenever you're on the side of everyone, you're kind of on the
wrong side.
Yeah. And my thing has always been like, I felt like I've always felt like that. Like since I was very young, where I'm like, I had my little crew and we all felt like everyone was an idiot, including my parents.
That too?
Yeah, I really did feel like that.
I mean, in terms of the red pill stuff, like, yeah, I don't know.
No, the fact you felt different than everyone.
I didn't necessarily feel different. I felt like me and my little, I wouldn't feel like different from everyone, but I'm like,
Yeah,
me
I
and my
definitely,
squad,
I definitely
did.
for sure felt that.
Do you think that everyone thinks that, or just that's a comic
No, I don't
way of
think
thinking?
that
That's
everyone-
I
comedian.
don't think so. No, I don't think
Maybe a
that.
comedian, maybe
I think that's a
whatever.
comedian. I think you need to have that to be
I
a
was
comedian.
also different. Like, you
I
know,
mean-
in a lot of ways, I was like, you know, fucking like just, you know, kicked out of every, like I was sort of.
You weren't like the other
on the
guys.
outskirts, or at least I was like my little squad of people. But the same reason why it's right now, it's like there's lots of people that have like brutal opinions, but there are people like, you know, I think you're one of them that has like, you know, he kind of gets it, like you're saying, you're like woken up to the thing. But I think when philosophies start to fall apart for me is when they start kind of being like telling you what you should do to live. Like, this is how you should live.
Do you think I do that?
No, I don't think you do, but I
Okay.
think that every kind of philosophy inherently does.
Yeah, they're generally dogmatic. I mean, that's kind of the point of them.
Aren't you saying that like you were part of this like red pill community? And
I don't
now
think I'm
they're-
part of the red pill
Now they're mad at
community.
you because like whatever, some other shit.
No, I don't think they're.
Okay.
That wasn't even red pill people. Those are like self improvement. That's they don't like. I don't.
Well, there's an overlap there, the self-improvement.
There is, but they've also made videos against it, and they were called me a fake alpha male, fake red pill. They were like anti that whole idea. But
Well, that's what I mean. It becomes its own little thing. But like, yeah, I really do like to listen to fucking stoics, like
Andrew
entrepreneur guys. Yeah,
You like
I
Tate?
don't know Andrew Tate that
Bro, you
well.
gotta
we
you gotta
only
listen to
found
that.
out about him like a couple
From
years
Tom
ago.
Segura?
No, before that, probably found out
No,
about
I
it when
saw.
Tom Segura
I
found
guess
out about him.
I saw something, and so I guess the reason why everybody's been seeing so much of him is because he has this like course, and part of the course is like you get a referral. So like when you see all his videos, they're all different accounts that are just like part of his thing is go repost my videos on TikTok. So
That's
there's like
crazy.
1 million people that he figured out this incentive structure where he go part of the thing is like to make money is you
That's
keep
crazy.
reposting my shit.
Yeah, and he knows he will. He says triggering
Like a
things that
pyramid
gets
game.
posted on TikTok.
No, it is kind of like a
He's got a
pyramid scheme.
Patreon
It
that
is,
just
it is.
that exploded. All his Patreon clips go viral.
Yeah.
And they all help him out. They all direct him to his Patreon,
Yeah, exactly. But
which
like,
is $50 a month. Hustlers University.
yeah, the Hustlers University. That's what it is. The Hustlers
Love it.
University thing. And part of it is you're like, yeah, so if you fucking like, it is really mid-level or multi-level marketing. Where
Yeah, it's a
like,
pyramid scheme.
Yeah, it's a pyramid scheme. It's just like, you just keep putting out my shit, and then anybody you sign up, like you get a piece of that or whatever, and literally just, that's what it is. But it's genius because it's really
Which is
exploiting
funny
the
because he's
TikTok
pimping
algorithm.
men. He's just pimping men, and he
Yeah.
also pimps women.
Women,
He has
yeah,
a
I know.
cam girl business, and they all
Wasn't
recruit
that how he
other
got
girls.
popular?
Yeah, he has a cam girl business, and now he just applied exactly the pimping logic to girls to guys,
Yeah.
and they're
So
all
do
there.
you like this guy?
Hustlers. I like listening to him. I'm not part of the Hustlers University, but I do like listening to him.
I find that the problem. I think, remember how you just said you're just like, you know, I kind of like studied Patrice O'Neill to some degree or whatever, and then you kind of are like, it's not that you have it all figured out, but you kind of like you internalized a lot from them or whatever.
Yeah.
I find that with a lot of guys that you kind of were like, oh, that guy, that was so helpful. That book like changed the way that I look at things, and then like 5 years later, you're like,
That was
what the-
dumb.
Yeah, but that's because like you
grow.
built off of
Yeah.
it, and it wasn't because that was wrong. It's because you're like, yeah, I already think that, so I'm reading a book of things I think now. You're just like, duh,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, yeah, he was the one who told you first. Now
Yeah.
it's the guy that told you about some band, and then you go back 5 years ago and later, and you're like, yo, did you hear about this band? He's like, I told you about that. You're like, you don't know shit about this band. So what do you think his best what's his best piece of advice?
I guess he just represents like what men really want. I think he gets, and same with Patrice. I think Patrice is really honest about male nature, and I think that's why he relates to so many guys about stuff like that. Like what you said is because I think he really figured out like what men want to their core, and I don't think people are as unique as we think we are. I think we're all the same. I think you could all boil it down to like animal nature. We're very simple. We all want the same things deep down. And then people like Tate or Patrice kind of simplify it and then make it applicable to everybody. And so I like listening to them because they have more stuff than me figured out. They're older, they have more experience, they've had more money. So it's like I can listen to them
They've
and
thought
get
about it
something
for
out of it.
longer.
Yeah, for sure.
They built on someone else that you built on or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but that is like the craziest part of all the, the way things got wild in the last 5 years is the like denial that the men and women are different. Like that's just like the base level.
it's
So
just so
crazy.
fucking annoying,
Like
man.
even, we were talking about this, but they'll, saying like I was saying to you where it's like, you could probably get a scenario where you could smash a bit and it's like whatever. And it's like, well, why would it work one way and not the other way? It's like, because if you actually look at how people work and not every single guy, not every single girl, yes, girls are, not like they weren't put on this earth to like spread seed every day. It's like they actually just don't biologically have those same like imperatives.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just a different requirement. Like women are fucking forced to deal with a kid if they get knocked up, and guys can just go.
What do you think that your philosophy on, like you said that you think I've figured it out with like the way people really are?
No, I think that I didn't. I think that I said that you were like trying to figure out if there's like a perfect way to live your life. Like it seems, well, I just think you're a curious guy. So it seems like you're like, it's almost like you're just like, I can beat the system. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's how you get rich.
I can beat the house.
Yeah. That's how you get
and
rich.
you have beat the house in some other ways. So there's like this, I feel like I could beat the house in this. Well, why can't I beat the house in the relationships? Why can't, and you kind of can.
I just don't want to conform to anything. But I'm
right. And I'll just say this one last thing. And the last part about that I was saying was, one thing that I feel like with personal relationships is as much as you hack them, there is no perfect one. Like there's no, at least I feel there isn't really like a perfect one. They all have pluses and minuses.
Yeah.
What do you think? And I see a lot of like the same message from your skits that I try to say in my videos and stuff like that, and like kind of call out the bullshit. But you guys have a more like lighthearted take on it. But every skit
Canadian.
you see, what you mean? That's the Canadian in you. What do you think the truth is? Like the red pill, people say red pill is like the truth and they accept the reality of the world. It goes bigger than women, stuff like that. I don't know if I believe that, but they're saying, like guys like on Fresh and Fit will say that you need to accept the reality of like how money works, how people work, and how women work, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's how you, what do you think that is?
Well, the problem, I would say that it's a moving target, and that's why it's like, think about even if you're talking about my videos, a lot of times we're pointing out, where things have gone too crazy, right? So let's say, for example, you were pointing out like, women are out of control right now, right? And then that becomes like doctrine of like, hey, this movement, we're only pointing at this. And then it maybe changes. And then in 5 years, it was actually, it wasn't that out of control and people get set in their ways. So I think that it's always a moving target. And with stand-up, or doing podcasts or doing streams or anything, you kind of feel like, hey, this thing that I was saying a year ago that I felt like I was getting pushback, now everyone thinks.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be like, everyone already agrees with me now. You know what? I need to like move on.
Yeah, well, they're not
because it can
truisms.
be.
They're just in the moment. Just shit goes so far where you're pointing out these things. But if you say in 5 years, or you take that idea you have and go 5 years.
That's
previous,
how you get to be the comedian that's pointing out how crazy the Catholic Church is. You know what I mean? And you're like, yeah, this is like almost hack. Everyone's saying it. Not that you can't make a good joke about it, but it's like it's like a moving target to point out.
I mean, for sure. Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Big time moving.
You don't have any specific ideology about the world. You kind of just try to point out the bullshit.
Well, no, I do. Okay, so I see what you're saying. Okay, what's yours, so I can kind of like know what you're talking about, and then maybe tell you mine.
My core philosophy on the world.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe, but I think I could define it by like a lot of people add a bunch of stuff to their personality because they need to feel special, and people used to have to earn their respect, and now you could just kind of declare your respect. Like, I'm this.
Yeah.
And like now people are like, yeah, you're brave, but like you didn't do anything. And
but do they actually get the respect, or do they just get to pretend
in their community? Well,
they do.
There's different systems, right? So like they're playing the game they're playing. They do.
They get respect from other BLM people who have put BLM in their bio. It's like a signal to other people. So they get respect from those like, oh, you're smart, you're woke, you have the right opinion. And so they get a sense of self-esteem from being on the right side of history. Yeah. And that is bullshit. And then that...
just like if you're a punk, like, who's the guy who has the biggest mohawk, and every movement has its
but at
like
least that's,
signs of devotion.
At least you grew the mohawk. That took time. BLM took like sheet A, didn't do anything. You got to style it, you got to gel it, looks cool.
Yeah, there's some effort put into
you know what I'm saying? Something.
Well, you got to this one. You got to go on Twitter. You got to find someone. You got to go tweet them.
Break some windows in your regular life.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I know what you mean.
That's my core philosophy, like about the nature of the world right now. Do you think that that's close to what you guys are doing with your skits?
I think, well, your core philosophy was that the nature of the world is based on people trying to like achieve status
it's power
through fake
it's
ways.
Yes,
it's all power games, accepting that everybody wants power.
Yeah, everyone wants power, and there's different ways to achieve it. And
nowadays,
those people,
it's easier than ever to get power just by putting BLM in your bio.
Temporarily, and it's hard. It's more harder to go against that stream by saying like I'm not doing that, and then you're just like because then instantly you go. Someone's like, I'm someone who
racist.
goes and declares I'm not racist, and then if you don't say I'm not racist, and they're like, so what, you're racist then?
Yeah.
Why are you
Yeah,
not saying
yeah.
you're not racist? You go, well, I'm not. And they
Well,
go,
now declare
they're
that
like,
you're not a
say it.
pedophile.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a power game. It's a game.
But then I think my core like philosophies are generally somewhat, individualist. Like even when I'm like kind of talking to people, and I don't know if we're like necessarily like giving advice all the time, but I do, I'm big into a lot of, kind of advice podcasts and lifestyle design and how to like, kind of how to live your life or whatever, some degree. Right. And I do think that a lot of times I'm like, do what benefits you. How do you get what you want? And obviously that in a lot of ways does help other people. I guess that's, sort of like objectivist kind of stuff or whatever. But in terms of how to live your life, a lot of times I'm like, it's not a lot of people right now that notice a lot of what's crazy. The next thing is like, and now you need to fight it. You know what I mean? Go stand up for what you believe in at your job. Go do this, go do that. You need to fight this like evil of the world. And there are times where, yeah, you do. And there is like a place for virtue, but there's also, this is always going to be going on forever, and there will always be a version of this. So don't become a soldier in someone else's fight. So I think to some degree,
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like, like right now, to some degree, yeah, I could develop what would be soldiers and be like, I'm the head of this army, and
You could start a cult right now if you want.
right,
to.
but I don't want to, and my message is don't join cults.
Yeah, and we've seen so many like people get stuck in these feedback loops where they like say one thing that a group of people thinks, and then those people are like, yeah, you're our guy. And then they're like, if you just keep saying the thing that we want you to say, we'll support you and you can keep being our guy. And then they're like, that was just like an idea I had. Like, this is not my identity, but then they make it their identity because there's this whole group of people who are like, we'll support you.
You're getting validated and you're getting money from it.
Yes, but that's a trend and it ends, and then those people whatever
up.
you're fucking say, like, whatever you're proselytizing goes away, it ends, and then those people you either
you're saying, like if you're like the Occupy Wall Street guy,
yeah, or whatever, and then
need a new
like
thing
what's
now.
the Occupy Wall Street guy doing? He's on to something else, and if he stuck to it, then everybody left him. They like abandoned him. So I don't know. You got to just really have a good idea of like who
Ready
you
for
are.
something funny? The guy who called me a cuck is he's literally a cult leader. Literally.
what's the cult?
It's a self-improvement cult. Like his bio on Instagram is word for word cult leader. And then the Discord is a cult. Like you need to join the cult, you need to put your height, your weight, stuff
A
like
lot
that.
of dudes like need like a father figure kind of thing,
Yeah.
and they find
They
one
find
with
it
an
online.
internet dad.
Internet.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of Patrice. It was kind of like Joe Rogan for a while. Like back in college, I used to listen to him every day. I guess they gave me a sort of guidance, but I wasn't like blindly worshiping them. At least they were open to be wrong, and they were open to have like critical thinking when you listen. Guys
Yes.
like this are like, I'm right. Listen to me. Follow me. And they're all like, yes.
Here's the Bible.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
literally
literally a cult.
religion. It's
Yeah.
religion.
Yeah. Well, because religion's going away, people need some sort of something now, and it's just like there's
Which became the woke stuff, and then other people are trying to, there's other versions of like, oh, you don't need that Bible. I'll show you a better Bible.
yeah.
But
I mean, the stuff with all like the gender, like that is religious zealotry, like to a T. It's just in a different form.
I always do feel like, and I guess my like philosophy underneath is kind of arrogant too, but I was like, to some degree, I don't think like no one needs religion. I'm like, I think people actually do. I'm just like, I don't.
Yeah.
Like I think that about a lot of social norms. I'm like, the world probably would be better without social norms. I, however, do not need them. But at the end of the day,
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't believe in God or nothing, right?
Not really. No.
You don't. You're an atheist too.
I don't know. If
Honestly,
atheist is the right word, but-
it's not something I concern myself with. If you had a gun to my head, do I believe in God? Probably not.
So you're
But
both
it's
atheists.
honestly, yeah.
You're
but
both
it's-
atheists, but you don't like that word because it sounds
No,
too,
it's not
like,
even atheist.
devil-y.
No,
No,
I
because
guess
atheist means
it's
you,
more
like, know-
agnostic. Agnostic. I just don't.
atheist,
I
yeah.
really don't care. Like if there's a God, great. If there's not, don't. I just don't care. It's not something. Some people spend so much time thinking about it. They're like really like occupied with like what's after this and what's
Yeah.
everything mean. And I
guess there's a
think about
negative
that.
connotation with atheists. You sound like a cringy redditor who's just like.
But again,
books.
to
No,
your
but
point,
there is also
the
a
atheism
word,
was
like, there are words.
cool 10 years ago or 20 years ago or whatever, and then like just like everything's so cyclical, where people are like atheists, and they're like, oh man, that's so fucking fringe. Like the Catholic Church is like a big deal, blah blah blah, and then it goes through these cycles where now you're just like, I don't want to be.
I thought it just means
atheist.
not believing in God.
Atheism
It
means
does.
you definitively know there's not a God.
Yeah.
But nobody, you can't. That doesn't even make sense
Well,
because you
whatever.
definitively don't know.
Well, that to me, that's what the word means, though. You're like, no, I don't believe there is
so
a God.
atheism is your religion.
No, agnostics, like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
how the fuck should I know? How
agnostic
the fuck
would
do
be-
you know? Like,
I don't.
Exactly.
I don't. But
Well, I mean, that's what that means.
okay.
And what do you believe?
Same thing as y'all. But I'm saying you think the rest of the world needs that sort of guidance of religion because they're too fucking
Something.
Yeah,
I mean,
they need
either
something.
that or the state to, it's either going to be that or, the state to sort of like be their guidance.
I mean, not to get too Jordan Peterson, but like there are some things in there that are like a decent roadmap for living your life.
Yeah,
You're
it's a
just
little
completely
simple
lost.
rules, but your arrogance comes from the fact you're like, oh, the shit in the Bible like that gives people guidance is really simple stuff, and I don't need that. But most people need that, or else they're gonna go insane. But I'm smart enough to not need that.
I don't. Yeah.
You
Maybe
can just get
not
that
smart enough.
non-religiously. You can get
Maybe
that from non-religious sources.
I know, but
Yeah,
he's
but-
saying that most people do need that.
Yeah.
And the arrogance is he doesn't.
Yeah,
I
I'm like
kinda feel
I'm
the
like
same way.
a deity. That,
I'm my own
right?
god.
Dude,
yeah.
I am Jesus.
Yeah, that it like I'm so singularly focused on like what I'm trying to do, and it's like, have you ever heard the people talk about like, I think it was the coach of Kevin Nash, Steve Nash, the wrestler or the basketball player,
Steve Nash?
Steve Nash. But he said he was like, when you like the people who are worrying about whether to do or not to do, like they've already lost. You know what I mean? Like, oh, should I practice today? I've already lost.
Yeah.
And the truth is, like, Danny is a little bit on the money where it's like a lot of these questions. And I think about philosophically as like exercises, and also I do care about like kind of getting to the bottom of things because that like interests me to get to the bottom of things. Like I like having those conversations. But as far as like, do I need that for what I'm trying to like do in life? Like it's irrelevant, I think is what
yeah.
he said. Yeah.
It's just not something I think of. Yeah.
It's irrelevant, but I don't feel like this longing for, this structure. Like I did know that I know when I'm not happy, like if I have a real boundaries on my life, that's when I really know I'm not happy. Like, for example, somewhere that I really have to be at this time and this time. As soon as everything gets too structured, I know that I need to find a balance that's more open as well.
Have you gained a sense of superiority from doing stand-up? Like making people laugh on a regular basis? Do you
No,
think
I've
that-
gained a humbling. Like when I was young, I was probably more cocky than you are. Like I was just like very cocky young child.
You never got cooked though.
No, I did not get cocked, but I've watched women have sex who maybe I had sex with first. How about that?
Okay.
Sick.
How did you feel? Did you get any like deep dread inside? Or
No, and every time I was doing shit like that, it was like funny shit with the boys. Like it was always like, yeah, just like some fucking hoes back at the house. But
Do you how do you think your mindset has changed since doing stand up? Or how
well, this is okay. You can say
How
that,
my
but
mindset is
yeah,
just like
performing for people
life?
and then also
he wants to know if it's gonna be good for him.
No. Well, not really.
Oh.
I genuinely like wondering how it changed your outlook on other people because you kind of know how to manipulate the human brain now. You know how to like set up like and
fuck,
they start
I mean,
clapping
I
about
wish I-
something and then you make fun of it and then they
I mean, that's more a comedic thing. I don't know about like across the board, like manipulating. I don't know if I put it that way. I don't know. Like I don't think my outlook has really changed that much other than like I thought stand up would probably be easier than it was when I started. Like I was like, oh, this is going to be a fucking piece of cake, And then I was like, oh shit, this is fucking hard.
I find that it helps the way that you understand the way that people see you better. And I think
Yeah.
for people like your personality, and I think that I have that personality, where you almost, it's irrelevant how people see you because you're such like I'm sure that you've always been like successful at everything you've done. So the like intricacies of like how some idiots see you to you is like affects you zero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then at some point, like it maybe starts to, and there is, I think stand up is like humbling because it's like almost
forces self-awareness.
Well, it's probably one of the first things you'll do that you like were hard. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you get the instant failure feedback.
The same way that in kids that play like contact sports growing up, like there's huge benefits to that. That it's like, it's like they always say like if you have like rich kids, the number one thing to do them not make them assholes is like put them in sports because no matter how much money you have, you're all equal when you're on a fucking lacrosse field. You know what I mean?
Maybe lacrosse is not the best.
Well, I
possible
just-
sport.
I'll tell you-
one.
I-
The worst
Yeah,
sport to
just
say.
just enroll them in Duke lacrosse, just so they know what's what.
The reason I picked lacrosse is because it's fucking the most painful.
Yeah,
like that's
yeah.
the most like you're gonna get hurt. That's why I said it. That's the most injuries.
You got mad fucking armor and shit on, all this headgear and stuff.
Armor, you get fucking slashed full. Like 1 in 3 people break their hand a season.
That was the most Canadian answer you could have gave
Lacrosse. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the NFL is pretty rough.
Oh, you're happy when you're on that fucking footy field. Well, I don't know. What do you think the main thing that guys, the biggest thing I think young guys, like the biggest thing that people struggle with forever is how do I fucking get girls? And then once you figure that out, you're like, how do I get money?
there. Yeah.
Is that kind of,
Yeah. That's true.
Or the smart ones, you go, well, if you get the money first, you can skip that getting good at girls part.
Yeah. But then they get money
there's
and
lots
then
of
they get
fucking-
taken advantage of.
There's lots of guys with money.
And the girls
Still
will
down with
own you
girls.
if you never did the fundamentals.
I
of,
think
like,
you should
how
go
to-
girls and then money, because then you're going to get money and then a girl's going to see that
Better
you don't know
order
how to-
for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you'll be less driven by...
Well, what do you
Yeah.
think that guys screw up the most?
I think girls is harder than getting money, because you need more self-awareness and confidence, and you need more charm. Like money, you can kind of just go online and like repost YouTube videos if you like. There's so many ways to make money.
He's like some guy working on a rig. But you see, I think that you think that like what you do is so easy because it was easy for you.
No, bro, I'm telling you, there were so many people who just made so much money off the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial by making a new
I saw
channel
this
and then
fucking-
reposting it, putting tears on the thumbnail faces,
my God,
and then
yeah.
just fucking eating off that, getting 500,000, 600,000 views a day.
We know one, Rakita Media. He's crushing
it's
it.
so,
Yeah, he's like a
it's
buddy.
so, bro.
But he actually does. He's not saying that. Rakita Media actually does like analysis. And
No,
stuff.
he's-
I'm
he's a
saying
lawyer.
I'm
Yeah,
saying people
this
who
guy.
just like
They just lift clips.
they don't even need to record anything.
How do they make money off
You
it?
you could do text to speech and then have like an audio recorder do the commentary for you. They take clips from the moment Johnny Depp realized Amber Heard is a bitch. Like that's a good title. And then you take a clip from the 6-hour stream, repost it, maybe add some Wikipedia fucking.
Yeah. But they are doing
narration.
something there though. Even though you say that's so easy, you're like that's.
But you
easy
don't even need to have a
you.
voice.
I know, but that's easy to you. But there's still a lot of elements.
I
in
think
the
that's easy.
I don't think
there's
you guys-
copywriting. there's,
People are
like-
so like it's very hard for people to do anything.
People are lazy.
Well, yeah, but like that is a perfect example of kind of what I'm talking about. Is your acting like your level of not being lazy? There isn't something about that you were born with, like you know what I mean. Like that isn't just that we all the same and you have this like just will to talk. Like that's part of the fact that you're not lazy is part of your like personality you're born with.
Really? I had terrible grades in school. They said I had ADHD. I was medicated from a young age and shit like that. Failed a lot of classes. I was really lazy in school, but I think everybody.
Were you lazy or you just didn't feel like that mattered?
Both. I would fall asleep in
right.
class and hate school and just everything. Just didn't. It wasn't for me. But I think talking and doing this shit like gives me energy. I'm passionate about, so I can do it. People are just lazy and don't even want to find their passions. They
I
just-
mean, I would say there's a lot of people they don't have passions. Like,
Really?
Dude,
Then why do
most
they-
people.
Yeah, that's girl talk,
No,
find your
that's dude. The
passions.
find your passion
Really?
shit. No. This is what most
I just
people's
said some
passion.
female shit?
Dude, this is what most people. Yeah. Take fucking just eating the blue pills, but just fucking bowl of blue pills.
If he
but,
ate the blue pills, he would have been able to get it up. That was the issue.
wow.
comes back around. No, this shit with passions, dude. Man, you know how many fucking people I know where you're just like their passion is their kids.
Or watching TV or
It's
movies.
dude. It's like
just the
that's
shit.
like
Normal
the whole
people. There's
family thing
normal.
is like you have a family and then that is your.
That's their
you know
thing.
that's
Some
your
people
focus.
have
That's-
nothing.
Yeah,
They
but it's
have
not
no passion.
everyone's special, but not everyone wants to be special.
Yeah, they don't
Like,
want
do.
Yeah,
Everybody
nah.
wants to be
No.
special.
No,
they
Everybody
don't.
wants power.
No, they
How do
don't.
you get power? By being special.
No,
No.
that's I don't believe that.
You don't
honestly,
think there's anyone that just
Is mid?
has a normal
It's just mid.
They
Has
want
an-
mid. Dude,
has a
mid
family.
is man. Honestly, if you don't have a desire for not mid,
mid's the shit.
mid's the shit.
Yeah, mid's the
Dude,
shit.
that's a curse that you don't want that.
yeah.
That's a curse that you don't want that.
And you are
That's not
plagued by it,
It is
too.
a fucking plague, man. I'm
I
telling
know,
you.
but what about the
It's
ego
the-
hitting
I
you?
mean,
that,
it's the ignorance is bliss thing. It's like there's
Is
a
it?
reason. Yes,
I know, but that's not going to eat away that I'm mid your whole life. Like,
it'll eat away at
I'm
you.
Average.
You.
How
it eats
do you,
away.
how do you
it
sit
eats
in
away
a
at
suburb
us?
in a gated community where everyone's the
Dude,
same, mowing the
all
lawn?
of my-
Hi, honey.
Do you
Like,
understand? Those people look at us and they go, "How the fuck do you do that? Like have that life of just like you have nothing structured and like you know you're
fuck structure.
you think that, dude? Regular people,
do
this
regular
is a fucking nightmare life to them.
How do they like structure? Like, how do you start liking that? I don't understand that.
They're mids. I don't know.
I know, but that's something
They're
like
midlives.
being mid isn't enough to not be mid. Like that idea.
They don't know. They're not.
They know. Hi, honey. How are you?
Dude, a lot of those people are like, yeah, I like thought I was going to be a professional athlete when I was 16. I realized I wasn't when I was 17.
And you just give up.
Yeah. But honestly, it's like, it's not a bad thing.
Sneako, I'll tell you, old
Like
manager.
they're not like they live bad lives. They're just like, they're very happy. They're, if anything, they're more happy than any of the people who are like trying to, do this shit.
One of my old managers
Guaranteed.
said something that like changed a lot of how I was thinking about things after I was reading these kind of books. And he was like, stop thinking that everyone looks at the world as same as you, and stop thinking that everyone wants the same things as you.
Yeah, I genuinely think that. I think everyone's exactly like me.
Yeah. But I think that's why a lot of girls, that's what one of the biggest problems with like all the one of the feminist things was girls that were different from the other girls saying, girls are the same as guys. I want this just as much as a guy. And you go, and those girls are fucking loud because they're like guys.
Lesbians.
Yeah. And they start speaking for these other women.
Lesbians ruin feminism.
And the other women are like, I guess, like they're kind of like, I actually didn't necessarily need that.
I kind of like being in the kitchen. Just
Or yeah, some of them did like being in the kitchen. I like being a mother, or maybe I like fucking having the door held, or whatever it was. Maybe I don't want, and they're like, we have the same wants, or maybe I didn't want to, fuck a ton of guys because I'm told to, you know what I mean? But like it's these like exceptions to the rule telling everyone that
leading
they're great.
the movement. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that, to be honest, like there's these Tim Ferriss guys that are very, here's, if you're in the top 5%, here's how to be in the top 1%. Whereas a Jordan Peterson, his kind of advice is more like, hey, your life's a mess. You're in the bottom 20%. Here's how to get to a mid. And I think that's a little more, and there's kind of, be honest about where you are and just try to be higher.
I mean,
than
I
that.
will say there are, I've spoken to so many people who are like, oh, you do comedy. Like, I wish I did that. Like, I wish I tried that. And, and that is something that they'll be 50 being like, fuck, I wish I tried that.
I feel like there's a lot of those mid people who you were saying are happy who are living with
No. Those people
Who live
also
with what if.
But those people also exist. The what if. They're not in the
I think that's
meaty
every
middle,
mid
not in the
person.
meaty middle. No, because
think
not
that's
every,
every
you
average.
feel sorry. You walk down the street and you see someone working at like a hot dog stand. You're like, fucking
I don't
loot.
feel sorry, but they
Like, you're
wanted
like,
to play
sorry,
guitar.
brother.
They had some
the thing
dreams
is-
of like playing fucking.
I guess the problem is that we have dreams that are achievable where like I guess your average dream will be like,
I
I
mean,
want to be
yeah,
a rock
yeah.
star. What instrument do you play? Nothing. Okay. It's like I want to be a basketball player. You're like you're 5'4".
But everybody has a
You're like,
dream,
yeah.
bro. Everybody had a dream. I don't think.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people had like really
Nobody has mid
grandiose-
dreams.
A lot of people's dreams is like, like a hot wife.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but they're like I want to play in the NBA, and they have that dream when they're 14. And then at 17, they're like, yeah, that's not
Some
happening.
people's
That's
dream
over.
is like, my dream is to have a man cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I go back to some of my friends from like that I grew up with, and it's like very arguable who's happier, like them or a bunch of fucking city atheists.
Not arguable. Honestly, not arguable to me.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're really happier. I think they're more stable. But I think we have like this life is more high highs and low lows.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more exciting, but they're just like baseline.
You have a high
gaming.
risk tolerance.
Yeah, high risk. They're sitting
sure.
on the reclining couch playing the game. It's just like it's an easy, put on the game, drink a beer.
But if and
That's
I
the
can't,
dream for
here's
them.
the thing: I can't do that.
I can't do it either.
But I don't like hate the idea of being
But
able
they're
to.
not. Don't say. Oh, but you're saying that they're happier. You really think that?
Yes, man. They have
It's
kids.
not person by person. It
Not
depends
person by
on the
person.
person.
I know some people.
But
like, they
that
have
is not an
kids.
exciting life. Like when you perform in front
They
of a
don't want an
crowd.
exciting life.
Yes, you do. Everyone wants
You
excitement.
do. You
I
think
don't know.
everyone's you.
Everyone, but no.
exciting.
I don't think everyone's like me. But those same people, when they go skydiving, they'll tell their friends.
They don't.
They do.
No, people like exciting lives is like they want to go on a cruise.
Yeah,
That's
a
exciting.
cruise, or like, well, they'll go.
That's not exciting
That's
to
what
me.
they put in the family album. They don't put them sitting watching the game. They put the cruise trip.
Yeah.
that's the most exciting.
But
Everybody
is that
wants excitement.
Yeah, but that's not actually exciting to go on a cruise.
To them, it is. To
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what they put in the family album.
'cause
The
they're
cruise
mids.
picture. But even though they're mid,
Mids.
the cruise mid excitement is the highlight of their life.
Yeah.
So I'm saying everybody wants to do skydiving shit. Everybody wants
No,
to.
they don't want to do skydiving.
Yes,
They
they
don't.
do.
You're. What
don't
was
wanna
that
do
line? It was like
Not even once.
everybody wants to go to something, but they don't want to do the work to get there. It's from a movie that I can't
Yeah,
think of.
I think that's what
But
it is.
My problem is that
That's what it is.
But that is okay. For example, everyone wants to get rich in the stock market. Obviously, that's the ideal scenario.
Yeah.
However, most people
Don't feel
can't
like it.
handle the losses, and their tolerance is that. So it's like. It's not that if you actually did the math, they were like, yeah, that would be cool to be like a rich rock star, but also like the potential bottom side is so bad. And they're like, I'd rather just like not take that gamble.
yeah.
So I'm
I
not
mean, it
saying
is a
that.
gamble.
So don't. In my opinion, they're not happier. They're just settling. They're just accepting an easier life where it's just like, okay.
They might think you're settling for all these
I'm
like
not
highs
settling.
and lows
Nobody
and
thinks
drama and all
Nobody
this
thinks
shit.
I'm settling. Bro,
But-
I dropped out of college to do YouTube, bro. That's
No,
not
no, no. I
settling.
mean settling for the downside in the sense that like you're missing out. Like you're settling. You're having all this drama and this chaos. and-
YouTuber is the #1 like dream job for kids in America now. They did a study. Is YouTuber 1, astronaut 2?
Yeah.
How many people would love to be in the NBA, like he said, and you're just like, hey, one day of training camp, they'd be like, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, you know what sucks about the YouTube thing in terms of that is an always achievable.
I didn't mean settling in that way, by the way.
Yeah, but that's an always achievable thing. So there's going to be people chasing that
Yeah.
for their
And there's going to be a
lives.
You can age out of NBA. You can just be physically never be in the NBA, but anybody can physically make YouTube.
But there's
It's
going to be so
dude,
many
you're
people.
18. You're like, I'm never going to play a professional basketball. Like zero chance.
You have to
becomes a
give up.
zero.
Yeah.
You don't have to give up. They're just like, you're not. This is not happening for
Yeah.
you, and that's it. Like the decision gets made for you. Whereas YouTube is like,
always
how many
possible.
comedians do we know who are fucking in their 40s, 50s, like
and
25
wasted their whole life potentially, you know?
Yeah.
So every day that you know, I think that's a biblical
Dude,
thing.
they can't
is
cut
the
they can't cut
Jordan
their
Peterson
losses.
thing, but it's like, hey, this one of the disciples died or something. Hold on, let me tell this. It's drunk Christian storytelling. One of the disciples died or whatever, and then he came back and he gets a present or something like that. And then he's like, well, what about me? I was here the whole time. Why is he getting rewarded? And it was like, yes, that was your present. You got to be with God that whole time or whatever. But for some of these people, it is like, and that's the best storytelling, right? But for some people, it's like, yeah, well, you wasted 20 years chasing some stupid dream. That's 20 years that they've been fucking chilling with their friends, fucking drinking beers with the boys, you know, working 30 hours a week. Some of these people going on trips, like going to the cottage.
they're like,
dude, my people in my
dude.
family love the cottage. They love going jet skiing. Like they love it. They're not faking that. They do love
yeah,
that.
and you're like, you know how many people are like retiring when people their same age are like, well, I guess I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I tried to be a YouTuber for the
Yeah, I tried
last
to be a
40
comedian.
years.
Retiring is boring. No one likes retiring.
Well, we're going in circles now, but
Yeah.
I can't apply it. Yeah, you're right. Hiking is good. I love hiking and paddling in the fucking Canadian woods.
okay, we have a fucking. Hold on, that was funny, dude. Before I had one funny thing, but I also one of the things that I did think was cool was because when you got in this YouTube game, which maybe even relates to what I'm saying, it's like you pretty early on. We worked with Mr. Beast and Keemstar and all these guys, right? Was there? I know it may be a lame question, but like Mr. Beast, the biggest YouTuber, and like when he goes on Rogan and stuff, it's so kind of interesting. But was he like that?
Just like that. Literally, it's great.
Yeah,
to
'cause
see
you
him-
worked with them.
It's
That's
great
what
to see
I'm-
him get on podcasts now because he gave me all that info when I was working with him, and he's like all the stuff he said on Rogan.
Were you in one of his little group things that he was talking about?
Yeah. I used to. I've been doing YouTube for a long time. So like when I first started doing Call of Duty videos and stuff like that, like he'd be in my comment section, stuff like we knew each other from like age.
But
14,
you guys do like
15.
the Skype things where like were you part of he talked about on Rogan where he's like we would Skype every day like a bunch
No,
of us.
he had. But I went.
He
and
was like
worked-
this young intern.
I worked. I was in his videos and stuff like making jokes, like helping edit, like helping set up the stuff.
How'd you meet him?
From YouTube, because I was doing Call of Duty videos for years beforehand. So we had known each other from comment sections when I was 14, 15. Like long time
Yeah,
ago.
you were on it.
Yeah, long time ago. So does he sound the same? The stuff he says.
Does he sound the same? But also,
Yes,
like, what
exactly
was his
the same.
things? Yeah, that you took?
Everything he says on Rogan was just nonstop. He is not capable of thinking about anything but YouTube.
Right.
He's literally the algorithm. Like there's some of these. There's these new type of people who are so
Half
focused.
man, half algorithm.
Who are literally just algorithmic thinkers. Like their brains are like, bro,
Called
how
neurodivergent.
how they don't even like pussy, they don't get high, they don't party, they just work. Real estate, they're online, they're like, I'm gonna go to the gym and be optimized. And they're just like, this is the algorithm, this is the thumbnail. The algorithm from YouTube and social media, I think, has developed and kind of transformed these brains to where these people are just fucking on it. Mr. Beast will never get canceled. He'll never get exposed for anything. He'll never say anything wrong. He won't even say like anything. There's never gonna come up.
Seems like the most wholesome guy.
Probably the most
N- not even-
most
I don't
aggressive
even
thing
think
he's done
it's-
is gone on Joe Rogan.
I don't think it's even wholesome. Not to say he's a bad, but I think he's smarter than that. Like, yes, he's a good person and everything, but I think he's so calculated. Like, that's why he's wholesome. Is because that's the best route.
Like he's got this
to be
itch
successful
to be
on
like
YouTube.
he's got this.
It's
itch.
not even that he has an itch. It's just like he's just like, I'm gonna be the biggest YouTuber. How do I do it? I be wholesome. I donate money. I give away this. This is how I'm gonna be the best It's, in my opinion, it's not like a natural like, hey, I'm a philanthropist.
Of course.
It's like this is
That's
longevity.
the game. He's playing. He's
it's
like
the game.
And he's tapped into the main vein of how to just like like you know when you're looking for oil, he's like tapped into how to just hit the spot where all the oil comes from.
Yeah, he's the best fracker. He really figured it out.
Yeah.
No, but everything he said on Rogan is exactly what he would say to me nonstop. And he's not capable. What you hear on those podcasts is what you'll hear from him in real life. He's not capable of talking about anything else. He just talks about YouTube.
Obsessed.
An obsessed mind. Like, have you seen that Leonardo DiCaprio movie Aviator, where like these guys are just, they're almost OCD about their work? That's him.
Yeah.
That's him.
And then, so what were the things that you like took from him?
That you need to be obsessed to make it on YouTube nowadays. It can't just be a side hustle, a side
can't
hobby.
just be a mid.
Yeah, you can't be mid. You can't be, no. You need to be overly obsessed with it. You need to sleep, dream, eat, bro. You need to fucking grind. Because that's the competition
Probably
now.
most things are like that if you want to be the top. Like if you're going to be on Wall Street, like that's what they're doing, right?
Yeah, but they also got to do coke in the breakfast and like lunch breaks and stuff.
So do you.
They have, but no, Mr. Beast doesn't. Mr. Beast.
But you can.
Yeah, but that's why I'm not as successful. But he's number one of
Oh,
all time.
you can't.
100 million
It's hard to,
subs.
yeah, I don't know if it's a good idea to be comparing yourself to the guy with 800 million subs.
It is because we started at the same point. It's very comparable.
You started
He was
as
my
his
fan.
intern.
No, I started off. I was making Call of Duty commentaries, and he was like first in the comment section, and then I started interning it for like I had started working for him like 4 years after.
You're like
I'd
the
known him.
other guy that started Facebook.
I'm the Winklevoss twins. Yeah,
Both of them.
Yeah,
Sean Parker.
I'm Winklevoss, bro. Yeah, so no, that is very comparable to see that we started from the same points, making stupid Call of Duty videos.
Sounds like he took the blue pill.
No, you know what? I think he took both pills, but
You go, 100 million subs? Calling
A little
girls
bit of
hoes. Which will it be?
But at least I get to speak my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Of course.
I don't think he's
100%.
ever. Well,
You're too mischievous to have that life.
Dude,
but it's also a
wouldn't
decision.
even-
It's also a decision. I remember working for him and
But it's a
deciding.
decision based on your fucking how you know you are.
When I was
For
18,
me, it is anyway.
When I was 18, like interning for him, like I had a decision. Like he was a really wholesome, doing like teenager content, building Lego cars. It's like, okay, do I like call bitches hoes or do I like build Lego cars and be happy?
Hey guys, imagine you just switch now. You guys, hey guys, it's me, Sneako. We're gonna see how much of the balloons it'll take to fill up this tunnel.
Hey guys, how many Orbeez can I fit in my backyard? Okay, let's get it. Like I could do that now.
I legit saw one of those. I gotta get me some fucking Orbeez. Cool as shit.
Nah, but I never really like got into those types of videos. I just can't do it.
Exactly.
I physically
Like, would
Yeah,
you?
do
Here,
it.
you have
Yeah,
a million subscribers on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Would you willing to take if I go? You can have 10 million subscribers tomorrow, but you can't say any of this shit.
No.
No,
I can't.
you know what?
I wouldn't
That's
take
not
that
you.
trade off.
Yeah.
That'd stink.
That would fucking suck.
Ah, shit. But yeah, the best, like, I guess there's the obsessive with anything, and that's why I do say whatever you're doing, one thing that's a caveat on the obsessiveness is I don't think you need to be obsessive forever, but if in most things you need to at least have obsessed over it. And what it would say is like that probably goes back to like the 10,000
10,000 hour
hours.
rule.
And obviously there is, the combined things where it's like if you're doing something similar, there's, it's not the second thing's obviously going to take some of those hours from the other one. But I don't think it needs to be forever. Like you'll see people that, I mean, the truth is like I spent my entire life making videos. Like the amount of times I've spent editing is not 10,000 hours. It's a gazillion hours. You know what I mean? But right now, I don't need to spend any more time on, like I still do it, but to remain at the level I'm at, I actually don't need to get better.
You can outsource the editing?
No, but I can also like be on autopilot and work on other things. Like I'm not, trying to actively get better at editing at this moment. I'm just like at some point you're getting better at things, and at some point you're cashing in. Like, yeah, but obviously you need to be tapped in if you're going to be social commentary. You can't half-ass it or whatever. But the actual skill building, you do at some point you need to spend like that time, and then you can kind of
I've spent a lot of time on the main channel getting to 1 million, like editing so much, grinding out, like popping addies and
That's what I was impressed with your edits. Like I was like, obviously the content too, but it was just the way you did it. It was, I don't know, they were like, it was just one of those things where you're like, oh, who's this guy? That's cool.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time, like weeks straight editing, like tons of all-nighters, and now I'm just like, all right, I want to take a step back. Streaming has just been like raw, it's completely the opposite of what I've been doing so long on my main channel.
Dude, it's the fucking, you had a girlfriend and now you're out there smashing some new bitches for a little bit. Grass is always greener. And then but I mean, I think that, that's why everyone, like a balance thing where maybe after that for a whole while, you're just like, you know what, maybe I just want to fucking fuck all that noise and make like something good. Not that you're not making good things also at the same time, but like you only focus on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was waiting for the cuck joke after that girlfriend thing. I was waiting.
I'm out, dude. No, I gave you my word.
All right.
We have a buddy, so one of our close friends is like legitimately.
You actually
into
know
that.
cucks?
JJ Lieberman.
Yeah, JJ Lieberman.
What do they? How do you?
He's a gay, he's also a little bit gay though, so it's what
That's
you
what I'm
said.
saying.
Yeah.
Yes, being a cuck is gay. Yeah.
He. That's it.
You enjoy looking at dick. Like
That's a
Oh,
title of the
he's
episode.
even past that part.
No, he
he
enjoys-
literally wants like a fucking dude to like come in his girl.
Then
and then eat her out afterwards.
what?
He's disgusting. He's a disgusting.
All right.
person.
Well, yeah.
Well, you're
don't-
new to the game, but that's where it leads.
Yeah. all right,
Yeah.
Eventually,
That's where
Yeah.
it leads.
Sneako 2023.
eating cum at. Oh no, bro.
Okay, I had a I had a
pause.
funny thing that I thought we could go through because this was we go through these articles and this one was like the funniest one I've seen in a while. But so it's a trans men article and it says
Nice.
encouraging men to pee sitting down to be more inclusive of trans men.
Nice.
Said not every man is able to pee standing up. It is time for men to take a seat on
You're
the throne.
joking. This is not real.
I swear
That's something you wrote. That's
when
your
I-
skit. That's
buddy,
a skit.
That was my initial instinct as well, and I'm very worried about getting cucked, so to speak, by like
By a fake troll.
a satire
yeah,
article. So I did a pretty deep dive on the site, and everything else it wasn't. The only way it's fake is if someone
Full
convinced the
fake
site.
Yeah, full fake site.
No, or like someone's trolling the site.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was this.
Well, we
look
literally
at-
no, but more importantly, in Toronto, the Buns trading zone.
Yeah. Okay, Doc, you
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
us.
yeah. So there was this in Toronto. There was this like Facebook group for people to just trade shit or whatever.
Oh,
It
I
was just, like-
forgot.
it was like a barter group.
I forgot about this.
Yeah, and so there was but people would just vent in there, like for whatever reason. Oh, they had like Buns,
And we
venting
would
zone.
make fun of them.
and we would make fun of them. And there was this one lady who was like a. I
think I got kicked out of the group.
I think you did too, but she was crazy, and she straight up was like venting because her son wouldn't sit when he peed. She's like she wanted him to sit when he peed because she didn't want him to get too confused about sexuality, even though it's like the opposite, obviously. But she was like, and she was a very real person. This was not a troll. This was pre people even really trolling like that. And she was straight up just like upset because her son wanted to stand when he peed. And she's like, no. She's like, you pee sitting down.
My mom used to want me to do that so I wouldn't make a mess.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I mean,
that's
dude,
one of
honestly,
that's one of the benefits.
If it's fucking 4 a.m. and I gotta go take a piss, I generally because I don't like turning on the lights and stuff. I always pee sitting down.
There you go.
Yeah, just.
I feel like that's more cuck than watching your girlfrand get fucked.
Way more cuck.
Well, it's just like I wake
That's
up.
what-
I wake up the next morning. I'm just like, oh, I pissed everywhere.
That's what JJ. He'd be like, "Oh, you guys are fucking cucks." Like, you're actually a cuck, or he'll call us gay and shit. And we're like, he'll call us gay and he'll be like, "You're the only one here that's actually
Eating
sucked a
cum.
dick."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sucked a dick and he's calling you gay?
Yeah. He calls
Okay.
everyone
A
gay.
dick.
Okay.
A dick.
Many?
Fuck yeah.
Have you been comedy cucked? Have you like been made a skit about an article that was just a troll?
Not a skit, but I think we have done it once where we talked about something, but
And
I
then
can't
it was,
remember.
yeah, I'm sure stuff.
But a lot of people think it's fake. I've had people say this is fake and then like go back and look, and I was like, find the author, and it was like some of these things are so fucking crazy that everyone's like, oh, come on. I get tagged and stuff all the time where it's like, oh, is this a Ryan Long sketch? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That one word for word sounds like a Brian Long sketch.
show them the website.
Well, who wrote who was
It's
Vice?
IQFY.com, and this is by Jamie Bronstein, which is weird because if you click his
That was the only thing I was worried about. I couldn't find Jerry Bronstein's fucking thing.
Jamie Bronstein.
Anyways, breaking news. We think it's fake. The article.
Fake. I called it.
Everyone sort of called it, but I sort of did my research. So it was a lot of people posted that and a lot of people sent to me. So I guess my name's Mud, right, boys? So Sneako's wrong. Women rule. And I'll tell you what, that was a guy.
The
that was
weird
up to
thing
that
about
antics.
the person though is you're like, what are they getting out of this? It's just for fun. You're not linking
Those are
to
the
a strat-
trolls you're supposed to do, where you never admit that you did it.
Well, you never admitted you did it, but it's not even like, hey, go to my troll Twitter account to grow that
No,
account.
that's a real
Nothing.
troll,
It's
just someone
it
fucking with people's
Yeah, they
heads
go,
for
it
fun."
ends there. I want I just for the fun of the game.
That's what me and
Love
my
the
friends
game.
did. We've literally we've had things where we'll put like fake plays on people's videos and then just and then there's
Gas him up.
the only payoff is them posting about it maybe once, being like,
Woo! I made it.
Yeah, shit like that.
Oh man.
Fake, or you have fake, back in the day, a lot of fake Facebook accounts to mess with people. Like, you get your buddy hyped up hitting on this girl and shit like that. And then before you know it, like, you just get him to send your dick, and then you can see your buddy's dick. Whoa.
Yeah, he did.
What were you doing in Canada?
I'm kidding. You're not doing that. Although, yeah, it is funny to like have a fake girl. I won't say her name because if I do say the fake account's name, I will be now liable for a lot of bad things. But there was like 10 of us and we all had a password. You never did that? Internet pranks? I feel like you're in the internet prank era.
I did. I got suspended for that at school. We just had a group chat and we would like Photoshop like dicks on teachers and stuff like that. And then this one nerd in the group chat like printed out all the pictures and gave it to the principal. And then
Come on.
I got suspended. And yeah.
Why? He just felt like being a rat?
I think
What a rat.
I think it was the one kid that wasn't in it and he didn't feel included. And then he hacked my face because we had a meme page together. We used to run a meme page in 7th grade and then he knew my password, hacked it, and then printed out.
Oh,
and we go in the principal's office and there's just a stack of papers full of like dicks and group chat screenshots. It was just like, everything crumbling.
How do you get suspended from school for that? That seems like you're like, I was doing this shit outside of school.
I guess because it was about the teachers, and it was like, it was really fucked up stuff. Like you really don't give a fuck about anything back in 7th, 8th grade. That's like when you're really at your funniest. It was just like some of the.
It is sometimes when you're at your funniest.
Yeah, I think it was the most fucked up shit. Like when you saw it in the context of it being printed out in an office, you're like, yeah, wow, this is bad. But it was funny when you're doing it.
Now that I was thinking about it, I was just thinking about another time that I got suspended, and it was also a teacher overhearing me shit talk about him. Most of my fucking trouble comes from me fucking what Danny said.
Talking too loud. You gotta shut the fuck up, Ryan.
Yeah.
What did you say? Do you remember?
Yeah, I had a teacher called Mr. Levine, and then I walked up and I literally was talking shit, and I go, because I got like detention or something, and then we were talking about it. I'm like, oh, he's not gonna do shit. Mr. Levine's a fucking retard. And then he just looked behind and he goes, thanks, right? No, no, he goes, yeah, he didn't. But like it was some shit like that, and then immediately he was like, let's go, like back to the office, and he was like, oh.
Did you feel bad? Like when the teacher repeats it?
Not at that one. No,
I felt bad when I got in trouble. I remember like one time
Not for the teacher.
We were shit talking a teacher and he was walking his dog like behind a bush. And I guess he heard us shit talking him coming down like the path and then hid and stayed in the bush with his dog. And we're like, fuck this teacher. Fuck Ted.
Yeah.
I hate Ted. And we're like throwing rocks and stuff like that. Like I'm going to fucking kill Ted. And then he comes in with his dog. Whoever said that about me, we're going to have a conversation. And then we all run inside. We feel bad.
Yeah.
We feel bad, but like the intention wasn't bad. We're just like hate school, hate our life, and we're just getting it out. And this fucking, I don't know, I'm going to say word. This guy's hiding in a bush with a dog to get us in trouble.
Yeah, that's kind of.
What were you gonna say? Words?
I wasn't going to say the word. I was going to call him an F word, but you know. We don't
yeah. Do you use N word often?
Never.
Really?
Never.
Oh, you had a joke about that when you first started, but right? But you can, obviously, right?
I say the F word?
No, N word.
Oh, the N. Oh, yeah. No, I was gonna call. He was a white guy. I wasn't gonna call him the N word. No, I guess I can. Sometimes I could just say "neh." Like, what am I?
But you don't really say it.
No, I'll dabble.
But like, you're as black as Drake.
Drake's he's a little blacker.
Isn't your dad black or mom's?
He's half black.
What are you?
My mom's Filipino. My dad's half black, part Jewish, part white.
So your dad's like Drake.
Yes, my dad's Blake
So
Griffin.
can Addison say the N word? Is the question.
Can who?
His son Addison, isn't it?
Adonis?
Adonis.
You can say half. I don't know. I'll say I'll say it when it's comfortable.
But you're right. Is that a question? 25%? Can you say
it depends on the context. See, I get the pass. Like if I say it in a passionate way where it doesn't seem racy at all, I can get away with it. Just let it slip and
you
then
go hard R.
Act like I didn't even say it. You know what I'm saying? Then it sounds good, hard, and no one will flinch. But if I say it weird, like it's just like.
Did your dad say it?
To me. He says the hard R more than the A.
He comes at you.
Yeah, he'll say the hard R before the A.
Ah, shit. Well, this is fun, dude. Okay. And so you want to follow Sneako on all platforms,
or
and
Sneako if you want to see the
Sneako.
streams. Yeah, I've been daily streaming. I'm taking a couple days off. I'm going to be in Europe.
Like 7 days? Like 7 days a week?
Yeah. No, I've been doing it for almost 3 weeks straight since I started.
But like,
you know what's
you're doing it
funny?
every day?
I'm going to do it every day. Yeah.
Sneako, you know what's funny? There's a couple times where you texted, like even when we were talking about this, or when you were messaging me like a week ago. and then I would like log on to YouTube, and I'd
saying
see
the
that you're
shit.
live, and I was like, wait, so you're just texting me while you were live?
No, I texted you literally like an hour before I went live. I was getting all these ideas and
okay.
stuff. Like, I gotta go live. And
Oh, you just okay? You went live. Yeah. But anyways, yeah.
Do you
check it out.
schedule them, or do you
and the
just
videos
go?
on your
No,
main
just go.
channel are really good.
Thanks, man.
So basically, just people are just on YouTube, and then
Just people who are on.
who are just on at that moment. But
Yeah.
so many people are on that you just see
Yeah.
a thing. And
Yeah, but they kind of push people's live streams.
They do,
No, yeah, I
because
know.
it's good for retention. The average person who clicks a live is watching for like over 10 minutes, so YouTube really likes live streams.
Yeah.
It's an untapped market, really. Like
It's the future. Well, I mean that's Twitch, right?
yeah, but Twitch sucks. There's no good recommendation system. There's no good algorithm on Twitch. You have to already be established to be in a hot tub sucking a banana. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You can't really
Yes.
just be yelling about bitches and hoes on Twitch. You need YouTube for that.
yeah, you do.
Fuck yeah, dude. Anything else?
Nah, man. Yeah, Sneako, all that. And yeah, hopefully one day I'm gonna be doing stand up like y'all too, so I can get the respect.
Dude,
that I want.
The respect.
Anytime you fucking want, dude, I'll hook up anything. All right. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
BOYSCAST. The boys, the fellas, the lads, the bros, the dudes, the homies, the mates, the blokes, the boys. Cast is the show. The dogs, the